Hey everybody, it's Liam Landry here with the Small Wrestling Lines, giving you my review of the May 25th episode of NXT, and tell you if it was worth it. So, this night started off with a match between Heavy Machinery and TM61, and this is the first match as Team 61 as, truly after the heel turn, and it was, it was a good match. It was a solid matchup, nothing really wrong with it. But I don't know, they really stripped down TM61's offense, for their heel run, and it was a lot to Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery, looked like they normally do, looked good and everything. TM61 just kind of had, some offense. It's not that they didn't get a lot of offense in, it was just what they got in. It was just kind of a lot of, beating down the guy in the corner. So it's kind of sad to see that they kind of, shrunk their move set and everything. Just to make it fit for the heel run. Because really, I don't think you need to do that. I think you can still keep it more, exciting and more, what they're used to. Team 61 as a team is used to doing. Just throw in some heel elements. They end up winning this, via basically the same way they won against Street Profits, but just putting your feet on the rope and the other guy holding down the feet, to get the leverage pin. So it was, like I said, solid matchup, though you felt like it could have been better. Heavy Machinery was really there, but Team 61 wasn't. So it was still worth it. It's just, I don't know, I'm not necessarily that happy what they're doing with Team 61. I was kind of okay when they first started going heel, but I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to see what they'll do with it, but Team 61 always seemed like such an odd booking with how they're handling them, I think they came out to a loss. Like, their debut was actually a loss to DIY. And then they had some, troubled times. Then they kind of went on that run where they were facing the Authors of Pain in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic the first time. And then, they got all the way to the finals, and then the second Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, they lose in the first round, and it's like, it's such a weird booking with them. I really hope that they really kind of reshape that and do something better with them, but let's see what they do. It was a solid match and was still worth it. It's just, I don't know, it could have definitely been better, but it still wasn't bad. It was pretty good, above average, but I don't know, it felt like it could have been more. After that, we get to a match between Lacey Evans and Kairi Sane, and I thought this was a really good matchup. Lacey Evans ends up winning, which is the right decision for right now. They're probably gonna have a match. They may have a match at TakeOver Chicago. Who knows? We don't know what the card looks yet, so we're not gonna know what they have room for. But it was, pretty good. Like I said, Lacey Evans wins via her new move, which was women's right, which is just a big right hand. I'm not as big on the idea of a punch being your finisher, because I mean you can punch multiple times during a match. It doesn't really make sense to be a finisher. But I guess, stuff like the super kick has been finishers, like with the Sweet Chin music. And it's kind of the same thing, I guess you would say. So, it's nice in the way that it can just kind of come out of nowhere. Really here, Kairi was about to hit the Kabuki elbow, and then Lacey just, boom, hits her with the fist, takes her out. In a, really cool, really good spot. It looked really brutal, So when you use like that, it seems like it can have some really good uses. And I am liking Lacey Evans, in this run. Really, she's doing really well, and Kairi, of course, is doing really well. So I thought it was a good match, and Kairi didn't lose in a way that had her be really defeated or looked really bad. It was a real close matchup where it's just whoever got the last shot in, and that was Lacey Evans, they wins. It was it was a very close matchup, really showing that these two are really close, so Kari doesn't lose that much with the loss. So I thought it was a good match and it was worth it. So you can go check that out. Then after that, we go into a matchup between Lars Sullivan and Velveteen Dream and Ricochet in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And this played out much like I thought, and probably what you thought, where, Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, they're just not going to be able to work together. And that's going to have, then, that's how they're going to end up losing, because, one of them betrayed the other, Velveteen Dream most likely, and then Lars Sullivan wins. And, that's what happens. Granted, it started off with them working out really well. And they show that they have a lot of chemistry together, because they look like they could be a actual tag team. They were doing some tag team team ups, basically team up maneuvers, and they were working really well and working with Lars Sullivan really well. And Lars was still being able to be dominant, even though the numbers game was against him, he was still able to kind of like get his spots in when he was overpowering them. So he looked like a threat, while also having it believable that the two guys together could take him on, because they were together. So it worked out really well for all the storylines involved. So Lars Sullivan looks good, Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, they all look good. And like I said, it does end with Velveteen Dream turning on Ricochet, and then banning him, and then killing Lars Sullivan gets the freak accident, gets the pin, and gets the win. So it, once again, it doesn't make Ricochet look bad, because he's being betrayed. He got attacked from behind by Velveteen Dream. Lars Sullivan looks good because he gets the win, and so everything works out. The storyline works out, and it keeps building to the idea that that's going to be a really great match between Velveteen Dream and Ricochet at TakeOver Chicago. You're probably going to see Lars Sullivan versus Aleister Black for the championship. So, could be good. Who knows? Definitely hope so. And given Aleister Black's record, it probably would be, but TakeOver Chicago looks like it should be really good right now. So, anyways, even though none of the matches have actually been confirmed, but saying it should, well, the tag team match has been confirmed. But other than that, and that's the Undisputed Era versus Burch and Oni Lorcan. So, that was a good match, worth it, and check it out. Then, our last segment of the night isn't a match, it's actually a promo. Earlier in the night, Johnny Gargano is interviewed backstage saying he's got to make an announcement, and he doesn't really like to, make this certain announcement, but he has to do it. So he kind of comes down, and it definitely looks like, he's with a neck brace, he's out with Candace, and it looks like he may be retiring because of the injuries and stuff. And that's what he's playing off of initially. But then the kind of crowd kind of works him up, gets his emotions going, and he's like, no, I don't want to quit. And, Candace is trying to fight him back, telling him, no, don't do this, don't do this. He rips off the neck brace, he calls out Ciampa out. And Ciampa does come out. Candace runs to the back to grab some referees to try to keep these two apart from each other. And eventually gets to the point where Ciampa's in the ring, Gargano's outside the ring. And I won't really go into what happened here, because it's a real big emotional part for their storyline, and I think you should just kind of see it for yourself. But overall, the segment was really worth it. The best segment of the night, really. And this, we're definitely going to see this at, TakeOver Chicago, which is, should just put that, match over, which should put that whole pay-per-view over. And we're probably going to get another 5-star match out of that. Really great segment. Really great way to top off a pretty good night. A very, definitely above average night. And nothing in there was really bad. Like I said, I felt TM61 could have had better match. And I don't know why they're limiting them so much. I mean, I guess because they don't want them to be too over with the crowd. But I feel you can have them more technical, fast-paced matches, but still work them as a heel. But even with that, it was still a solid matchup. So there's nothing technically wrong with any of the matches from tonight or the promos or anything. So it was a quite good night. I would say watch the whole thing. You definitely won't be disappointed. And yeah, but anyways, if you like this video, you can leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. Small Wrestling Alliance. You can subscribe to us. We do reviews of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and 205 Live, and we also do live reactions for pay-per-views. So hit the notification bell to get notified when we go live for those. We also do prediction videos for that. We do a podcast every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. So check those out. It's from 1. We say 1 to 2. We always go over. So I would say 1 to 2:30 at least. So yeah. So also you can follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA. Share it to all your friends or your enemies. Either one. And until next time. See ya.